I traveled from New York City to Los Angeles on a 67-hour cross-country train. I wanted to do all the most LA things I saw on YouTube this hot back summer. Acquire that $16 avocado toast, find out if Urth Cafe is overrated, and yes, thrift. Please unironically add all of the above to my personality traits. So I started off the day by heading to the Grove for breakfast. One of the things I was looking most forward to in LA was the possibility of tropical produce. Areas with warm weather have more produce options than colder areas and have a greater chance of better tasting tropical fruits. Apricots! Oh my god! All these fruits are like, you got that lychee, rambutan. I don't know what that is. At Coffee Corner, I got an Earl Grey latte, which was expectedly delicious. As someone who eats a plant-based diet, I was excited to go to LA to try their vegan food. I expected the selection at restaurants to be greater than it actually was. Like many places I went to had only one vegan option, which was avocado toast. I got the chrysanthemum buds, oat milk, no honey. It's too hot to drink it right now though. The vegan cuisine that I went to LA for fell far below my expectations. One of the cool things I appreciated though was that I could assume that every place I went to had oat milk as an option. At least I had that. Later that day I went hiking in the Hollywood Hills. The hike wasn't physically intense, but the heat was, especially considering that there was barely any place to chill under shade. The views changed as you went higher and I loved seeing the city from above. I also got to see some of what I assume are the Hollywood Hills mansions. Overall, the view was breathtaking and so was the heat.
Should I propagate it?
It was difficult to get an Uber from where the hike started, so I went further down the hills until I had signal and an Uber, which took me to Melrose Urth Cafe. Yes, I was there. Oh, you didn't know that that looked like this when I'm recording. Okay, so yeah, I went to Melrose and I'm still in shock. I ordered the vegetable portobello panini without cheese, which was honestly nothing special, considering the high price point. Where Urth Cafe really stood out to me was in the drink selection, which was immense. I got a matcha latte with rose, and I absolutely loved it.
I came to LA for Urth Cafe. It's so sweet. It's so sweet. It's good though. I like how it has that steamed effect on the top. I ordered this portobello vegan panini thing, and I feel like the leaves are fine. I actually don't mind the taste of, I think this is spinach. But they like put so much oil or like dressing on this that I can't eat it because it's like so much. I don't like vinaigrette dressing, but that's just a personal preference.
On the next day, I continued my quest to press flowers, which there was an abundance of in LA. So the thing with some of the flowers here is that they're already pre-dried before you even pick them.
Look how beautiful it is. This whole wall has pink flowers on Beverly Boulevard.
I also went to the Grain Cafe, a vegan restaurant that was amazing and cheaper than other places.
A club sandwich with soy chicken, and it looks like tempeh, and we also had nachos that we finished that were really good.
Finally that day I hit up LACMA, which I was resistant to go to at first because I thought it was just a place for a photograph. Now the pleasant surprise of the park next to the urban lights. I loved walking around just appreciating the nature that was surrounded by multi-lane traffic. It really hid me away from the traffic, so I just need to say, like, I love this sort of getaway. I think that if you're in LA, definitely try to visit the La Brea tar pits because it's super nice. It's like a really nice big park, and there's really nice, what do you call these? Things like this around and structures. Yeah, and then if you go to the actual museum, I think that's where you can get into this tree forest thing. I'm not going to because I'm short on time, but it is nice to look at. If you don't want to do that or come here, just go to a really nice nursery here because there's so many plants. There's so much greenery. I think that's one of my favorite things about this entire trip. This is what I came for. There's just so much greenery everywhere that I've been to, and of course the tourist attractions are going to be like the wealthy parts of any city. A lot of that stuff has a lot of greenery, and I think that's like, you know, one of the weird things about traveling is you're probably only seeing like the nicest parts of the city or the parts that they've made nice for tourists. I mean, I don't know about living how it is for people that actually live here,
But to visit, it's been really beautiful.
I appreciated how this park had so many different areas to go in. Like some parts were more elevated and had a great view. I took that opportunity to roll down the hill because why not? That is the whole motto of this trip. I let Tavlo's Cool Girl play in my head because I just found out that that song was inspired by the Gone Girl movie, and I had just watched it on this trip. I definitely have a very different understanding of the song now that I've read and watched Gone Girl than I did when I first heard it back in middle school. I sort of felt like I was in an alternate reality this whole trip because I had nothing to worry about. Summer was just starting. Do I see myself living here one day? I mean, yeah, I do. Not only is the weather warm, but I actually really like the suburbanite life you can lead in LA. Especially when it comes to the amount of space in your home. People often romanticize the idea of living in a city, where I think that the cons can definitely outweigh the benefits, but I really like the idea of living somewhere that's more spread out than a traditional city. I like being surrounded by nature and living in a quiet place. If I could get that somewhere, then why not go there?
I'm trying to get this wind to stop so I can talk. Oh! Today is my last full day in LA, and I'm sad to say that because this trip has been really fun and relaxing. I think one of the weird things about this trip is that I haven't been doing super touristy things. I've just been doing I think what probably bougie people in LA do. Not that I'm shopping at Rodeo Drive at the Gucci store or something, but I guess I would say bougie eating at restaurants that I normally wouldn't because of the price or something like that, or I would only go to on special occasions, because I think this trip in a way is its own special occasion. It's really nice out here, so I want to take advantage of the weather, which is another reason I didn't want to do many indoor tourist attractions in blasting AC. I want to take advantage of this weather. It's a little bit chilly, but it's pretty good. You can wear summer clothes. So yeah, today I'm just gonna pack up, ship some stuff home, and then I'm gonna go to San Francisco tomorrow morning, and the trip continues. But I'm really sad to say goodbye to LA. What I used to get around was a combination of the bus system here and Ubers and walking, of course. I didn't rent a car or anything because I don't want to drive, and I think at the end of the day, so I thought the bus was going to cost money, and it ended up being completely free, and it was decently reliable. I took it, I would say 85% of the time. I only took a couple Ubers here the whole time. I think one of the fun things about being at the tar pit, outdoor museum part, is that I literally don't know what the tar pits is about. I've been trying to read the signs and figure it out. Something to do with fossils, but then the crates are empty, so I'm confused if the museum is actually ready, the outdoor portion. I'm definitely confused. It's about the ice age in LA and how they found fossils just hundreds of feet from the LACMA. But I'm reading the sign, I don't understand. I'm genuinely confused, but who cares, because the park is awesome and I'm having a good time here.
We're going to Griffith Observatory. It's the last day in LA.
This is one of the only places I think we've repeated on our trip, right?
And we ended the day by doing the most touristy thing, go to the City of Stars filming location, aka Griffith Observatory.
Wait, we're completely dark.
We're here! And it's so windy. It is sunset.
It's so good.
It is sunset, so it's gonna be colder now, obviously. So I literally wore my jacket, my sweatshirt, a long sleeve shirt, a shirt under that, but I'm still cold.
And I got my jacket.
This, in my opinion, is the probably the best way to end the trip in LA. Do a very LA thing. See literally the whole city by just going to one spot. Yes, it's a very touristy place, but it's beautiful. And not all touristy places are bad. There are touristy for a reason. So the city can make some money because it's probably maybe pretty cool. Probably maybe is, I think, a good way to call it. Here we are. Finally at Griffith Observatory, ending my Los Angeles trip. I wish I did a hike here actually another day so that I could enjoy it more in the daytime, but I know it'd be super hot, so it's almost better to be here when it's colder or maybe on a cloudy day.
Oh, look at that trail over there. It's actually really cool.
It's so chilly. I remember there was like pictures of us here when it was super windy. Look, there's the Halloween sign.
I had actually gone to Griffith Observatory when I went to LA for the first time in 2016, and this was the only thing on the itinerary that I had repeated. So it was definitely very nostalgic to go back and think about the last time I was there, and now I'm here without my entire family. I think also like being familiar with a tourist attraction or a place where in a different city feels like a milestone in sort of beginning to grow up. So I felt really cool and happy that I connected with a location outside of where I live because I was familiar with it from before. It's not that deep. I just mean it like it was exciting. It was cool. But yeah, I don't want to take away from that like feeling, but I also don't think it's that deep.
Oh my god, look at the sky.
If you're leaving, let me know. Is it in the papers?
What the heck? It's so dangerous. I mean, like, I know trails are like this, but it's still really freaky.
I know.
I know it's part of the look that there's no fence, and maybe there's no there's like some structural reason there's no fence.
Probably
but it looks
not.
really dangerous.
Yeah.
I hope it's not just for aesthetics, because come on, we gotta start prioritizing function over aesthetics. Safety at least. Not gonna go further than here because no offense. Not no offense. It is no offense. Can I propagate it?
Never gonna come back. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's
Okay, it's our last day in LA, and tomorrow I'm going to San Francisco, and you are?
I'm going to San Diego.
So, this is where we leave up.
But
Goodbye.
we're meeting up. We're only going to be apart for 12 hours, but
yeah.
it's goodbye for now.
Goodbye. Bye.